Hi, my tubies. It's me, Sheila Truelove, and today we are going to talk about something very serious. I'm going to name this Narcissistic Men Happy to See Women Fall. And I'm speaking in terms of the funding cuts that Donald Trump is proposing in terms of Section 8 and when it comes to food stamps and when it comes to welfare. Now, we are all aware that there are some people who abuse the system. We know that. At the same time, that's like a low percentage. You have more people who genuinely need the help, like the older ones, and you talk about those with disabilities. Donald Trump don't care about that. He's cutting that too. Okay? Now, what I find very upsetting, and it actually had me crying in my office because it was a slow day and I had a little time. I'm not really that emotional type of girl, not really. I was emotional when I listened to this, of how these black men, and you have some another Hispanic guy who's talking this as well, how they are so happy. They're so happy to see black women getting ready to be homeless with their children. They're so happy that Section 8 is being cut and the welfare is Section 8 welfare food stamps is being cut, because they feel that now, listen to what he's saying. He could say it better than me, which when I listen to this, you know how evil these men can be, just so that they could try to take women back to the 40s and the 50s, where women had to put up with abuse. Anyway, listen to this just totally had me crying in my office. I have several of these that I was listening to. And while I was in my office, I was praying to my Heavenly Father at the same time, to Father, please let this backfire. Please. Anyway, here we go.
A lot of videos on YouTube and a lot of conversations on social media in general about, HUD being cut and Section 8, mothers and families having to pay more for Section 8. And the videos that I've been seeing on YouTube have been a lot of men, in particular, a lot of African American men, being a little bit happy about, Section 8 going up or possible Section 8 cuts and, less funding for Section 8 and HUD and stuff like that. So I'm here to talk to you guys about why men are happy about this, because a lot of y'all just don't understand. And honestly, from the situation that I am in, I understand. So here's the reason why men are, well, not all men, but some men are happy about, public housing being cut and low income housing and Section 8 and all that stuff. You guys have to think about this. The majority of the ones that are on Section 8, they're either elderly or they are women who, have like multiple kids and they were able to qualify for it. But let me just speak from the point of view of the African Americans, because you have a lot of African American men, they're going after women saying like, the welfare queen, she's not going to be a queen. She's not going to be able to do this and do that. The reason why men are happy is because men have been dogged out by women. Actually, if you look at the way that our government is set up, it's kind of set up to where the government will help the mother who has children, who is single. The government will help that woman if there's no man in the house. And so the government becomes either the parent to the kid, or he kind of becomes like the financial husband to that mom who has.
Now, his big beef is saying that the men have been dogged out because the women have a means to be without them. So what he's trying to convey here is that the government has taken the place of a man. That's a bunch of bullcrap. I have heard so many people say that because of this welfare system, that caused the man to be out of the family, like back in the day. Okay? Now hear me out. Back in the day, we know that there was a great deal of racism where they weren't hiring black men. They were not hiring them, but they would hire the black woman. Okay? So even when the woman was working, it was not enough to cover for the rent, the food, the utilities, kids' clothes, things that was a necessity. Now you have this man here, he's out of work, nobody's going to hire him. The women had to get out there and get a job, and because their income was not enough, they had to apply for subsidy. But these characters don't understand that. They expect women to just rely on them. You're not working. No one's hiring you. Okay? He's trying to say that the government has replaced the men in the house. No, they had to. They had to. Or all the kids would have been starving. Women would have, black women and Caucasian too, because you have more Caucasians on welfare, food stamps, than you have Hispanic and blacks put together. So this is going to hurt a lot of Caucasian people. It really is. But my point is, the reason why these males are so happy that women are being cut is because they're saying now women got to be submissive. You got to be submissive to us. What they're really saying is now you have to put up with the abuse that we abuse you. If I want to cheat, you can't do nothing about it. So what? You need me. If I want to beat you up, what can you do about it? You don't have no real income. You depend on my income. So now you have to put up with all of my crap, with all of the BS that they put you through. They want to come home 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You got to sit there and just shut up and take all of this foolishness. Let's finish listening to this. No. And this hurts me. It hurts me so bad because, you know, it's trying to put women in a position where they're going to have to put up with a lot of stress, a lot of abuse. I thank Jehovah God that I'm working. I've been working since I was 15. But there was a time when I fell on hard times too, when I was a single parent and was raising my son and my daughter alone. And the welfare helped me. And I know that's what it's there for. And you have some people who do abuse it. It's put in place there to help you maybe get on your feet. But some people have made a career out of it. 10, 12, more than that. You know, I don't know what their situation is. I don't know what their circumstance is. So I can't speak on that. But what really bothers me is how they feel that now you're going to have to be submissive to us. Watch how he says women are going to be knocking at all these men's doors. The men got the upper hand, so they think. We're going to put our heads together, ladies. Something's got to give. Personally, I think Jehovah's going to definitely step in for this. And I think it's going to backfire on them. Watch. Anyway, listen to this, whatever.
All those kids and who no longer needs the man anymore. So that's actually one of the big reasons why men is happy, is because it's been like a lot of years women have dogged men out because they're receiving public assistance. They don't need help taking care of their kids because they have the government. They're either on safety.
They don't need help taking care of the kids. How many of you women have men in your homes now who's not working, don't have a job? They sit here and say that women don't need men. We've been letting you know that we need you. We've been letting you know that we need your help. Personally, what I need a man for is to help keep me spiritually strong. That's basically all I need. Help keep me spiritually strong so I can, maneuver through this crazy world. Have Bible studies with me on Saturday. Let's go to church on Sunday together. Let's have our spiritual food every morning, our daily text and our Bible reading every day. See, I do need you. But you want people to need you to a point where without you, they fall. Or without you, their lives become a mess. We need God. We need Jesus. We need air. We need food. We need water. Without those things, we die. Without a man, I'm not going to die, sweetheart. Trust and why. And even though there's women who's going to go through hardship out here because of these cuts with the Section 8 and and the food stamps. You see, this character, he's so busy thinking about how men are going to be, now you got to be, he's not thinking about the children. He's not thinking about all the children that's going to go hungry. You know? All he's thinking about is look at the advantages that we men are going to have over you women now. Now you're going to have to be submissive. That's what one of these other characters says. You know, now you're going to have to do what we tell you to do. Yeah? How many of these black men out here can't even get a job? That's why a lot of the women had to go on public assistance in Section 8. He has so many felonies. Who's going to hire him? Or he's going to sit up here and work a minimum wage job, which I got the stats here on what the minimum wage is. Minimum wage for starting December 31st, it's going to be $15 an hour for small employers. That means you have 10 or less. For companies who have 11 or more, 10 or less. Okay. That's for small. And it's going to be $15 and up. No, I'm sorry. For people who have small companies, it's going to be $13.50. And for people who have more than 11 employees, it's going to be $15 an hour. And that's great that it's going up. At the same time, you have to keep in mind how much is the rent. Like these people who are on Section 8, they may be paying like $150 or maybe a little more, $200 or something. I know somebody who's paying $47 a month and she's living in a place that's $1,500. Now, when they redo this Section 8 that they're planning on doing, they started sending out letters on February 15th. Remember, I work with the state. Okay, so they started sending out letters on the 15th of people being cut from Section 8, or they're being incredibly reduced. You're in a $1,500 apartment. They would pay $200 of it. You have to come up with $1,300. Are you serious? And you're sitting up here wanting to pay me $13.50 an hour? Think about the cost of apartments, food, utilities. So now they're trying to make it so that we have to depend on these, not even men, then boys, these boys.
They have low-income housing, they're receiving food stamps, cash aid, or they're even getting like child support. They're getting welfare or something like that, right? So that's really the reason why men are happy, because they know once, women are not on Section 8, once they're not, maybe not getting food stamps, or if they lose their low-income housing voucher or whatever it may be, they know that women will start to need men again, and that's the problem nowadays. You have a lot.
We've needed you from the beginning, but you're not cooperating. You're not working with us. What he's really saying, and let's read between the lines. We can abuse you. If I want to bring a woman home and tell you to sit in the living room while I take care of business in the bedroom with this woman, you go and sit in the living room. What can you do about it? You depend on me. Without me paying half the bills, you're going to be ASS out. That's what they want to do. That's why a lot of these men, they hate feminists. They hate all women are feminists. Mostly all women are feminists. They say they're not, but yeah, you are. Do you believe that women should be entitled to have an education? Feminists. Do you believe that if you work the same job as a man, the exact same job, that you should get the exact same pay? Feminists. Do you believe that you should be in charge of your body and what's going to go on with your body? You know your body. You know how your body operates and how it works. Feminists. Do you believe that women should have the right to vote just like any man? Feminists. Who isn't a feminist? Now, I'm not a feminist to a point where burn your bra, take off your bra, don't wear a bra, walk around with your breasts hanging out like the men don't have to wear shirts. That's ridiculous. That's retarded. But in terms of equal rights, women want equal rights. At the same time, that don't mean that you don't treat me like a lady. We're talking about what's fair. It has nothing to do with not needing a man. And it has everything to do with I should be able to take care of myself. Something could happen to you today or tomorrow. And then what am I supposed to do? I have children. If I have children, what am I supposed to do? And they piss me off when they talk about the government stepped in to replace the man. The government had to, or we would have all been starving. I remember my mother has always been a hardworking woman. But there were times when she didn't. She had 6 children. I'm the only girl, 5 boys, and I was the only girl. And my mom was struggling, you know. You meet these men and they're no goddamn good. And you trust them and you believe them. They fill your head with all these damn lies. And the women will, I don't have to explain it to you. You know, my mom was married to my dad, you know, and my dad, he after a while, the marriage didn't work out. So he had to, whatever the heck, go back to Trinidad because my dad is Trinidadian. But that's not the point. These men, you know, they tell women so many lies. And I know we can't be, don't be going for it, honey. Just please. But the main point, sticking to the point, is that they just want to put us in a position where we can be needing. We need you. We need you now. Honey, let me tell you something. And I'll tell you something else that makes me cry. It really does. When I think about it. You know, there's a lot of women who are going to be out there prostituting themselves, trying to feed their kids. And I'm hoping that it doesn't come to that. I pray to Jehovah and through Jesus Christ for him to step in. Because that's a rotten thing to do to somebody, to see that they are caught out there and then you take advantage of them. I've seen that happen so many times with women out there prostituting. You know? Because why? These no good pieces of filth. Filth. I'm making another video also when he talking about how it's so hard to find a good woman. Honey, they don't want good women. They don't want good women. Because if they wanted good women, prostitution would be a thing of the past. If they wanted good women, why is the porno industry a billion or almost $1 trillion industry? It's $1 billion industry, but I thought you said you wanted good women. Why is the porno so lucrative? They don't want good women. Their idea of a good woman is lay down, be a doormat. When I abuse you, don't say nothing. Just shut up. That's what they want.
Women, they either one or two things. They act like they don't need a man, or if they have a man in their house, they act as if they're the alpha, like they wear the pants. And so I'm not gonna say I'm happy about, you know, women you know, that have a lot of kids losing their low income housing, or them having to pay more for, you know, even though they have Section 8. I'm not gonna say I'm happy about it, but I do understand what is going on because I have a kid myself. And I see on a day-to-day basis through social media, through YouTube videos, through, you know, like conversations on posts from Facebook and different stuff like that, how women is treating a man. You know, when a woman is on Section 8, when she's receiving...
They call how a woman is treating a man. He gets up in the morning, the first thing he wants to do is smoke bud. He's sitting up here, he's nothing but a crackhead or crystal meth or using heroin. How women are treating a man? A man, M-A-N, meet all needs. No, you boys, burden on you. You're not men. How we're treating a man because we won't tolerate your bullery? That's what you're so angry about. How we treat a man. He feels that they're supposed to be allowed to do whatever the hell they want. Who cares if you're hurt? Who cares? Too bad. Suck it up, sister.
Low income housing, and she don't need that man to go out and get a job so that he could provide food on the table. She feel like she could just get rid of him because she's getting money from the government. She's getting food stamps from welfare. She has low income housing. Her rent is not that much, so she really don't need him to go out and work. So a lot of men are seeing this and hearing about rumors that, oh yeah, women are either going to have...
How many women have sat up here and told these men, get up off your behind and get out there and get a job? Is it working, ladies? Not really. You know how many women have these men driving their car, eating up their food, living in their house? These women have, I'm sure, have gotten on their behind and told them you need to get a job. Because, you know, maybe in the beginning it's cute. Maybe you can hang with it for a minute. Like, you know, whatever. A lot of black women, we can hang with you for a minute. But after a while, that gets old. That gets real old, especially when I see that you're not putting forth any effort. I left home, you was sitting on the damn couch. Or you was laying up in the bed. Or you're out there in the living room playing video games or what have you. I come back from work, you in the same damn position. Or you want to act like you're doing me a favor because I cook. Of course he's going to cook. He wants to eat. So he figured, well, if I got to cook something for myself, I might as well make it for two, whatever. You know, he's not really saying, let me cook to make her make her load lighter. No, he's not doing it for those reasons. He's doing it because he wants to fill his belly with food he didn't even buy. Many women have been putting their foot down and begging these men, honey, please, you know, it's a little rough for me right now. Can you kind of get up off your behind and kind of maybe, I don't know, how was your day? Did you find anything? You know, how many women have done this? That's why they had to have the government step in, because the black men were, what, cheating around, making babies with other women that they can't afford. The black men were not being hired. They couldn't get jobs. They couldn't get it. So they saw how the black women and the children were starving. They were starving. And then when the black women and the children are in the home and the man can't get a job, there's no rent being paid, no food coming in, she's not in the best of mood. She has an attitude, wouldn't you? So then, of course, she's not in the best of mood. He's beating her up, talking about shut up. All you do is nag, nag, nag. The children are sitting up there crying. He's talking about shut those kids up and all of this. And then when he do get a little bit of money, he drink it up or smoke it up. That's what he wants to happen for women. But I'm hoping my sisters and my all vanilla, Spanish, ebony, we got to put our heads together. We got to come up with something. We got to figure this out. But there's a plus that's going to happen to all this. Yeah. Okay, so that's that clown. You see where he's going with that. Okay. I have another one. Who is this guy? Black women get Section 8 cutoff notice, and he goes, LOL, pay back, BITCHs. This is the Bryant Watkins channel. Yeah, okay. All right, man. Okay. That's what they want. They want to put women in a position where they have to put up with being abused. Put you back in your place. When I come in, I come in. Don't tell me nothing if I come in here at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And so what if I got another woman waiting for me in the kitchen? She's just a friend. Go in the living room and sit down somewhere. Really? Okay. And she's sitting up here putting up with all that crap because she feels stuck. And that hurts me because women have come so far. And we know Donald Trump, he don't have any respect for women. What did he say? How do you handle a woman? Just grab her by her PUSSY. Just if she gets out of hand, just grab her by her PUSSY. Yeah, he got real respect for women. I know there's people who abuse the system, but there's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of people who genuinely need it. I'm a little uptight because I was listening to this, looking at this woman, young, ebony woman. She has like 12 kids. That's insane to me. That's wrong. You're sitting up here popping out kids that you can't afford. What's going on with you? And that makes me almost cry. You're popping out these kids. I'm just too much. It's too much for one person. I can't take all this, man. Cut off notice. Oh, God. 12 kids. Why would you sit around and have 12 kids? Even if I was a billion or a trillionaire, I'm not having no 12 damn kids. Because children need attention. They each have different problems. They all need attention. How are you going to split yourself like 12 different ways? I think 2, 3 kids, we good. We're rich like crazy. We got 2 goddamn kids. Maybe 3. We could push 3 because that's going to take time. I have to sit with each of my children who's having a rough day. You have to put up with all these different moods. That's just selfish for someone to sit around and have that many kids. That's ridiculous. Especially with all the birth control that we have. I don't understand. God. What is this?
Hey you guys, it is your boy Davion. Welcome to another episode of Conscious TV. And I'm coming to you guys.
What is this? Is this another miserable sucker that's sitting around here celebrating ebony people's?
Do not
watch ebony women fall. Here we are. This is this Terry Swoop rules the world. Why? It says here.
After Donald Trump released his budget.
Why black men are celebrating Section 8 welfare cuts. This is another character. Okay.
Where he will cut welfare in Section 8 by $6 billion. I notice a lot of black men are celebrating these cuts on welfare in Section 8. This means a lot of these welfare queens will not be allowed to just mooch off to the government and freeload off the government. Now, a lot of black women are wondering, why are so many black men celebrating the cuts of these entitlement programs? Because a lot of black men feel that these programs are the reason why black men are not in the household. They're the reason why black men don't have rights to their own children. Section 8 has replaced black fathers.
Black men have rights to their children. It's called the court system. You go to court, you file for joint custody, end of story. The reason why the black men are not in the home is because they don't know how to behave properly. They're abusive. They're constantly cheating, can't keep their penis in their pants. I don't even have to go there and talk about that. Everybody knows that. He can't keep his penis in his pants. And you're supposed to sit there and put up with that. No. You cheat on me. Get out. I don't care how I'm going to find a way to survive or whatever. I will go to a shelter, do what I need to do. I rather, I don't know, sleep in the park. I'll find a way. In the subway, first of all, if I find myself in that situation, number one thing I'm doing, I'm running to my Heavenly Father and my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because they see what's going on and what you're putting me through. And like the Bible says, adultery equals divorce. Cheating, no. You sit up here, you jeopardize my health. You're going out there laying up with all these filthy, piggish females, and you come back to me, and you bring me God knows what. That's why you're not in the home. Because you're abusive, you're selfish, you're narcissistic, and you're evil. And you're damn sure mean. You're very mean. Black men are mean.
Over the last 30 years. These government programs have replaced black fathers.
They had to.
And if you look back in history, going back to the 1960s,
yep,
LBJ created these programs to take black fathers out of the household.
Because black fathers were not getting jobs. When you look back in the history, they were not hiring black men. They went out there, or the black man, they would give him some low class job where they would pay somebody else maybe $5 or $7. They gave the black man $1.50. Now tell me we don't need help. We don't need governmental help. We needed the help. He surely enjoys sitting at that table eating that food.
Created these government programs to remove black fathers from the household.
That wasn't doing much anyway.
And this is when the single mother epidemic began. Before the 1960s, 90% of black households had two-parent households. 90% of black kids were raised in a two-parent household. It wasn't until LBJ.
Yeah, and the black women were walking around with swollen lips, big puffy eyes. The children was all beat down because daddy done drank up the money yet again. Yeah, he was in the household there to abuse someone, and they were in the household because black women, they felt they didn't have any other choice. And now we have choice. And these black men, not only the black men, and Hispanic men too. They're happy. They're so happy. Now you're not going to have much of a choice. You have to hear these characters talking about black women now. They're going to be lining up, knocking at your doors, fellas. So get ready. You're going to have a whole drove of black women all over the place. Women everywhere. But you know what? Let me get something else. That's going to backfire to some extent. Because you see, now that the women are really struggling, and they're going to be struggling, and may Jehovah God's Holy Spirit please help them. Please, Father. what's going to happen is you're going to see more and more black men going to jail. Because now the women are in dire need of child support. Whereas they was letting you get away with it from there because they had the government helping them, whatever. They're going to be coming down harder on all of these deadbeat fathers. So you watch how this is going to flip. Watch. It's too much. Wait. Let me show you something. What happens when you don't pay your child support? It's going to flip. Okay. Here we go.
What consequences could I face if I don't pay child support? The law prescribes stiff penalties when a parent refuses to pay child support. Contempt of court. For willful failure to pay child support, you can be fined, jailed for a short term, or both. Or you can be jailed until you actually pay. Wage withholding. Your child support can be deducted from your paycheck.
Good.
Property liens and seizure. Some of your property may be seized to pay your child support. Liens may be placed on other property. When you sell the property, the sale proceeds will be applied towards your child support. License suspensions. Your driver's license and your business, trade, or professional license can be suspended. You may be unable to get a fishing, boating, or hunting license.
Say goodbye to your
Tax
car.
refund and lottery intercept. Your federal and state tax refunds and lottery winnings can be intercepted to pay your child support. Passport denial or revocation. If you owe more than $2,500 in child support, you will not be able to get a passport or your passport will be revoked. State criminal prosecution. You can be convicted of a misdemeanor or even a felony under state law for failing to pay child support.
That's right. You're going to see more Negroes locked
criminal
up.
Prosecution. If you have willfully failed to pay child support for longer than a year, or you owe more than $5,000 and your child lives in another state, you can be fined or sent to jail for up to 6 months, or both. If you are convicted a second time, or if you willfully fail to pay child support for longer than 2 years, or you owe more than $10,000, and your child lives in another state, you can be fined or sent to prison for up to 2 years, or both. Inability to pay can be a defense, but it's up to you to prove you can't pay, and not up to the prosecutor or other parent to prove you can. You are not unable to pay if you are voluntarily unemployed or underemployed. If you are genuinely unable to pay child support, don't wait until enforcement action is begun. Contact your local child support enforcement agency for a payment plan and ask the court to reduce your child support.
Okay. What are the consequences you face? Could I pay if I don't pay my child support? Okay, so we got that one there. You're going to see more women going after this child support than a little bit. And if they don't pay their child, I know that's true because my daughter went through this crap. Yeah. He ended up in jail. It's true. They go to jail. So go ahead and gloat about how you're going to have so many children hungry and starving and homeless because you're so freaking anxious to get even and hurt the black woman. That's what I'm talking about, these black guys, because, you know, a lot of my vanilla sisters are going to be a lot more of them, actually, because, you know, it's like 49% to 50% of Caucasians are on public assistance. And you have, I think it was, I forgot the percentage of black people on public assistance. It was not nowhere near close to 49 to 50%. So many people are going to suffer, especially those who have disabilities and the older ones. I really, really feel bad for them. I really do. Let me see. Now this is another character. This is a Spanish guy. Listen to what he has to say. Hold on, it's coming.
All right, my friends, Ruben Obed here, transmitting live once again from GB Music Group Studio, Puerto Rico. And this video, which I'm doing, is actually in response to a video that I just saw by a man by the name of B Miles 84 Conscious Channel. And he was talking about food stamps, Section 8. He said the riot is over, welfare queens got their wake-up call. Now, mind you, when I saw this video, I totally agree with B Miles. First of all, B Miles made it clear in the video that he's not a Trump supporter. I am a Trump supporter. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big-time Trump supporter. You know, if you look in my channel, it's like, you know, I'm the biggest Latino Trump supporter. You know, I came up with the Latino Trump anthem music video, which went viral online. So, you know, it's good that I'm, you know, I'm listening to Mr. B Miles on one side, and then on this end, I'm the total contrary because I am a Trump supporter. So now, but the thing is, B Miles, you got it right. These women, and you talked about the black community, but I'm gonna talk about the Puerto Rican community too, and the Hispanic community, which are doing the same shit. You got these women walking around with this, you know, high and mighty attitude. Oh, I don't need a man. Oh, I'm an independent woman. And they shake their head like this, like an owl and shit, talking about, oh, I'm an independent woman. Where the hell's your independence now? You ain't no independent. You've been living off the system. That's why you've been independent. That's why a lot of y'all women have been displacing men. That's why a lot of y'all women take your baby fathers and lock them up in jail for owing you $100 in child support because y'all a bunch of bitches. And I'll say it straight out. That's why
Excuse you? I would say something, but I'm trying my best to be more Christian. Like, yeah, really. Watch yourself, buddy boy. Really. Now, you see what it's all about? It's all about trying to control women again. Trying to get us under their thumb. They keep talking about you trying to replace the man. We're asking you. Please get a job. We're asking you. You know? We're trying to help you. We're trying to be understanding and helping you, you know, while you are going through a hardship, if you will. But we've been saying get a job forever. You don't need a man or whatever. And let's talk about it. Let's keep it real. When you go to men and ask them for money, they're cheap. They're stingy. They want to try to get the cheapest thing that they can find. They don't care about the most nutritious thing or what have you. These men are trying to make it out like they're going to be these great providers. They're going to come into the home and they're going to be taking care of the rent and you know and taking care of the utilities and we don't need cable. That we can say goodbye to cable and kiss Wi-Fi goodbye too, because that's luxury. And then they're talking about women getting their nails done, and women getting their hair done, and all of this. Keep it real. Men are visual. The vision costs money. It's like you want beautiful women. You want women to be submissive, aka take abuse. That's what they want. When they say submissive, if they really mean take all the crap that I have to shovel out to you and swallow it and do me a favor, shut up. You heard what I said. Don't give me a hard way to go or I'll leave. So she's sitting up there all unsure, you know, he's going to leave. So I have to put a sock in it. I have to sit up here and just take this abuse. You know, stress, all that stress. Stress kills. Stress causes strokes. My biggest thing is you're going to see so many of my babies out here prostituting and putting their health at risk. Because you have these women out here who's out here performing fellatio or oral sex on these men. They don't know if this man has gonorrhea or syphilis. They're just opening up their mouth, bobbing their head, all of this and that. Do you know whether he has HPV? And don't tell me about condoms, sweetheart, because men, when they're doing oral sex with these prostitutes, they don't wear condoms, and the women don't insist on it. So let's kill that noise. I'm not going to say all, but 90% of the women do not use condoms when it comes to oral. She doesn't know what kind of disease he got. And then you know they want to be able to bust in your mouth, and it would be better if you swallowed it. That's right. bitch. That's the position they want to put women in again.
I'm going through this shit, and I have to be in agreement with Mr. B. Miles. I'm happy Trump is doing this shit. I'm happy. I hope welfare gets taken off. I hope that Section 8 gets taken the hell off. Take it off. People get a fucking job. You know? Get a goddamn job. You know? Now,
you know, people, it's so easy for people to sit around and say, get a job, get a job, get a job. You know, black men couldn't hardly get no job. Felonies. You got women who have felonies too. So, you know, all of that sounds good and it looks good on paper. Get a job. This is the play. Yes, yeah. You know what? But we live in reality here, the real world. It's hard for people who have a criminal record or a felony, something they did in the past. They already paid their dues, but society don't give them a break. And then if they do get a job, they want to sit up here and pay you some goddamn $13 an hour while your rent is $900 or mine's is $952. My rent. Okay, and I'm fortunate, thanks to Jehovah, I have a job, but nobody's job is promised to them. I could be on my behind out there on the street tomorrow. The government shuts down, everybody's out of work. Guess what? Sheila True Love, I'll be seeing you guys. I've been away for a minute, but I'm looking at this here. This person here says that some people on Section 8 are lazy, but a lot are not, because there is a problem. This is a person who lives in Los Angeles, and the rent in Los Angeles for a 2-bedroom apartment is $2,500, depending. And now you imagine you have a job making $14 an hour. How's that going to cover your bills and cover your rent? You know? Now, granted, there are some people who are taking advantage of it. We get it. But let's look at the percentages here. What percentage of people are taking advantage, and what percentage are people who really genuinely need it? That's what we have to focus on here. And who's going to suffer mostly? The children.
Like I said, there are some people who need it. There are some people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not against those people. I'm not against it. There are elderly people. There are people that are sick. There are just people who are really down on their luck. But these welfare queens who sit around, you know, they sit around and they act as if they got it all figured out. And it's all about getting their weave done and their nails done. And all the money that they don't spend by paying rent. Oh no, you see them buying new cars and shit, and they riding around. They think that the shit don't stink. And they bad mouth men. That's why you have this dysfunctional family situation going. That's why you have you know, this epidemic of single mothers, and they don't respect men. They don't want a man, because a man to.
So first of all, if I was talking to him and I got a chance to talk to him, first of all, I would ask him, what percentage would you say is abusing the system? What percentage? Okay? And I want to hear his idea of what have you. You're talking about women don't need men. I'm almost ready to put this to a test. Okay, let's drop the reins, lady. Let's sit back. Go out there and get a job, honey. And you pay the rent, you pay the utility, and I'm not staying home. I'm not doing nobody. I never ain't gonna be no stay-home wife. I would never be that. No. I gotta make my own money. I'm gonna get a job. You go get a job too, sweetheart. And you pay the rent, you pay the utilities, because you're the man. You said we don't want no man. Yeah, we do. Come on, honey. Come on now. Pay the rent, and I need money for food, sweetie. Okay? You know those wonderful dinners that you want? That costs money. They're sitting up here trying to act like women didn't want men to work. The government stepped in. The government had to. Key word here, had to step in. They had to. People were starving, waiting for these men to get a job. And if they had a job, it wasn't a decent paying job where it could cover the bills. Forget about clothes and shoes. Kids going to school with their clothes looking all raggedy, their heels on their shoes all turned over. And you know, if he works and he got a drug habit and alcohol, we know where most of that money's going to go. So I'm done with him. He's a loser. Now let's talk more about this child support. A deadbeat dad, he speaks from prison. This is what happened. He didn't want to pay his child support. And I told you, with all these budget cuts, they coming after you fathers with all these damn kids. Yeah, okay. You see, you're so busy digging a hole for us to fall in, and you're going to end up falling in it. Watch.
Something old. Something new.
Commercial. Get lost.
The Call 6 investigators are digging into a statewide problem. Families impacted by unpaid child support.
Hello?
More than 1 million people.
A family problem. But where are all these men? They're talking about we don't want men or whatever. You can't even pay your child support. How are you going to sit up here and pay the rent, the utility? You can't even keep up with your child support. They said that this is a major, huge problem.
Seen our stories on the air, on social media, and on the IndieChannel.com. And tonight, a perspective you almost never hear. A deadbeat dad speaks from prison and explains the question so many people are asking. What went wrong? Call 6 investigator Kara Kinney went behind prison walls to get his side of the story.
Carlisle, Indiana, home to Wabash Valley Correctional, a state prison. It's also home to Sean Everett. He lives behind these gates inside the minimum security camp. Everett is serving a 4-year sentence for felony non-support of a dependent.
You hear how long he's serving? 4 years. Keep on playing, you clowns. Don't want to pay your child support. And that you don't want to pay your child support, and then you wonder why the government had to step in and help. Something as minute and as minor, just child support. Not all the bills, just child support. You can't even do that.
A dependent, his daughter Chantel, now 19 years old. To our surprise, Everett agreed to sit down and share his side of the story.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
We wanted to know what many wonder when a child support situation reaches prison walls.
What went wrong?
Well, getting locked up before didn't help any.
Everett has been in and out of prison throughout his daughter's life for theft.
In and out of prison. But these women, they don't want men in the home. They don't want no man. It's not a matter of that. Look at the kind of crap these guys do. They want to remove the man out of the household. We don't have to, honey. The government is removing your behind, locking your stupid... Just whatever.
And receiving stolen property.
For a long time, it was hard to find a job once you get a felony.
He says he also suffers from alcoholism.
I'm not here to make excuses.
Do you consider yourself a deadbeat dad?
Now, he said, for one, it's hard to get a job, especially when you what? When you have a felony. And then they said, what? He also is an alcoholic. So when he did get a little bit of money, was he taking care of the woman and taking care of the children? No. Mr. Man was so busy taking care of his alcohol problem. And he's got a felony. This is a Caucasian guy, blue eyes. I'll show you him in a minute. Now, if he's having a rough time getting a job, you know how it is with these black men out here trying to get a job with a felony. He's not going to get a decent paying job where he can really make too much of a difference. He's going to have you have to move so you can get some low-income housing where your whole neighborhood is filled with crackheads, crystal meth, heroin addicts, needles all over the place where you walk in everywhere you go. You see, men, they can live in all these bad neighborhoods because they don't have to worry about, people hurting them, and even they do. But for women, women have got to live in neighborhoods that are safe. She has to walk the street at night alone. Sometimes she's out with the kids or what have you. They could sit up there. Then nobody's going to too much try to attack a man too much, But they see a woman, vulnerable, weaker looking woman. Women need a safe neighborhood.
Maybe for part of it, from making the same mistakes over and over and being locked up earlier in her life. Yeah.
Hello?
I beat myself up over it a lot.
Chantel is now off at college, but the pain still lingers from her father, absent for almost all of her life.
What he did was wrong, and that he shouldn't have done it in the first place, and that he should have owned up to his responsibilities and been a real man. And it made me feel like, why am I not good enough to have the support of my father.
Do you realize what you did to your daughter?
Do you see what I'm saying? And they want to talk about the government stepped in to replace the man. The government had to, because they do crap like this.
Yeah, the same was done to me. I never knew my dad.
Everett grew up with a single mother.
And it was hard for my mom. I seen what the struggles she went through.
Yet Everett's actions caused his daughter and ex-fiance to go through those same struggles, a reality that makes Everett emotional.
Sorry. It's heart aching. I mean, it's heart wrenching. It really is. There's no way around it. You know, and you're the cause of it, you know. It's just one of them things. But I try to deal with it, you know, and hope one day I can make things right with her, you know.
Because Chantel just turned 19 last week, Everett will not accrue any new child support. However, he still has to pay the $45,000 he owes for Chantel, whose mother at times went on food stamps to make ends meet.
What do you say to people that...
Did you hear what that? He owes $45,000 in back child support. The mother had to do what? They didn't say the mother wanted to go on food. The mother had to. She had to. And then they want to talk about, again, yeah, the government is trying to replace the man in the house. Yeah, okay.
Say we are paying as taxpayers because of people like you.
I have to say they're right. I mean, you know, I'm sorry for that. You know, I truly am.
Everett failed to show up to a child support hearing in 2005 and was a wanted man until 2013 when Johnson County's investigator Troy Dehart tracked Everett down at his Rochdale home.
Yeah.
Did you know there was a warrant out for your arrest?
No.
So you were surprised?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Everett says he wasn't hiding and was finally getting his life back on track and paid a small amount of child support, but it was too little, too late.
All I can do is from here on out be a better person.
He has every reason to. Everett has an 8-year-old son who he now only sees behind prison walls. He's attending alcohol and parenting classes and hopes to go on work release in August, where up to 55% of his wages could be garnished for child support. He plans
55% of whatever he's going to make, even if he has a new woman in his life, she's going to have to understand he has child support payments. Because you have a lot of females that get pissed off with this stuff too. Well, if well, he made kids, you know what? He laid down there, he had the good old time, he partied like it was 1999, if you will. You pay, you play, you pay. You look at that huge percentage that's going to be going to child support. How about that? Then you wonder why women had to turn to the government
to pay it and hopes it opens a window that's long been shut.
If you could speak to parents that are maybe thinking about not paying their child support, what would you say to them?
Every action has a consequence. Just really think it through before you just think about yourself. Don't be so self-consumed. I mean, there's, you know, that person's dependent on you, that child.
Now, so there you have it. The women, the children, we were depending on you men once upon a time. But that wasn't working out, because when the women were depending on you, like good old women should, all you did was beat us. Not me, because I ain't going for none of that nonsense, but you beat them. You abused them. You cheated on them. You did every low down, dirty, rotten thing you can think of. Now, can you imagine a woman who has a man who's a narcissist and she has to depend on him for payment? You got to depend on this narcissist. You know how evil they are. That's why women had to lean towards the government. And for the low percentage, the small percentage of those who are abusing it, shame on you. Shame, shame, shame on you. Because you're making it bad. You're making it so hard on people who really need the help. So that's awful for you to do that. Anyway, we've been here almost an hour, guys. And you know I don't usually make videos this long. But like I said, I was in my office crying my eyes out. I just couldn't get past it. Thinking about my girls out here prostituting, thinking about women having to put up with abuse and clowns walking all over them. And And it's just going to be horrible. Women try to get roommates that are women. Women try to get together and help women. If I see a woman outside looking hardship, I'm helping. I'm going to do whatever I can to help. And that's what we all should do. If I have just a little bit more than you, and I see that you're in need, we could split this. We can make this happen before we let some clowns walk all over us. So each woman, help each other when you see them in need. We don't have to put up with this. We don't have to be prostituting and all. And try to find yourself some roommates. And if you can find Christian women to be with, try to find Christians. Please. This is Sheila True Love. Thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. I know I got a little emotional on this one, but hey, I don't know. I love you. Thanks for listening. You always have a choice, darling. The choice is yours. You know, try to get some work. Look for work. You know, I'm definitely be praying to my Heavenly Father about this. I'm going to pray that it backfire on all these people who's trying to have us fall in the hole. They want to see you fall. I'm going to pray to Jehovah so hard. Please, Father, let it backfire, Father. Please. Through Jesus Christ. Amen. Until next time, bye for now.